Okay, so I'm gonna record this meeting just for those who are not able to join at this time because we realized that first of all, like everyone comes from every part of the world, so this might not work for everyone, and maybe other people have their conflicts. So we apologize for the relatively short notice of the meeting, and we hopefully we after we record this meeting, the information can be shared to everyone. All right, I think it's about time to start. Can everyone hear me? If someone cannot hear me, okay, I'll get noted. So I will introduce myself and then some other people who are also going to speak in this info session. My name is Haiyue. I am a third-year PhD student in Princeton University. I'm working with Professor David Winslow and I'm working in computer architecture. So I am also helping out with CASA, which is the Computer Architecture Student Association. And then I'm one of the organizers for COM, the long-term mentoring program. And Yueying and Abdurrahman, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Haiyue. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa or Yueying Li, and I'm one of the organizers of this COM long-term mentorship program, and I have been involved in it about 4 years ago. So I've seen it grow, and thank you for the time joining this. So currently I'm a PhD student working in the intersection of computer architecture, system, and machine learning, mostly looking at efficient cloud resource management and scheduling. So yeah, I think Abdurrahman, maybe you can go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Haiyue and Yueying. My name is Abdurrahman. I'm a postdoc at Harvard right now, working with David Brooks and Guyan Wei. And my research is in the intersection of machine learning and systems. And yeah, so I've been a part of CASA for a couple of years now, and also got to be part of this COM. But a lot of the effort is done by Haiyue and Yueying, so a lot of credit goes to them. And I think Alan Kruth might also be in the meeting group. He's also here.
Oh. Yeah, if you wanna show up and introduce yourself, that's welcome. August will be joining later. He is also a member of CASA, and then he was a mentor for last year, so he's very willing to share some of his mentee for the last year. He's right now caught up in the meeting, but he will show up soon. Sorry, how can I share this? I've never used Google Slides for sharing before. Slideshow, sorry. Cool. All right, so I'll cover the first half of the slides while Yueying will cover the second half of the slides. So the info session is mainly a introduction of what COM and CASA is, and then we'll talk about some of the tips and expectations for the mentees to get the most out of the program. So, all right, you probably already know what COM is. It's a long-term mentoring program for computer architects. And then what CASA is actually the student association standing behind this program. So COM is one of the programs that CASA does, and CASA also does a lot of other programs. I will be sharing the slides afterwards, so you don't have to remember all of the links right now. And then what CASA does is that CASA is kind of trying to do the student community, or like the student organization in the computer architecture community, and it's created by students for students, and CASA does a lot of community service or other fun activities so that we kind of foster a sense of community within the students. So some of the recent events hosted by CASA, and they will also be regularly hosted in the future. One thing is we have a Meet a Senior Student or Meet a Senior Architects. These mentoring sessions are one-time mentor sessions, and then these usually happen with the computer architecture conferences. So for example, ISCA, Micro, ASPLUS have all seen that we've had MAS and MASA, the acronyms for Meet a Senior Student, Meet a Senior Architect. And then these were very successful events. So apart from the mentorship one, CASA also hosted the Diversity and Inclusion Summer Reading Group that was hosted in summer 2021 and 2022, and also the mental health workshop that was very successful in the past 2 years. Ooh, why is there a animation here? But yes, there is also a jobs workshop, and then this is mostly also hosted in the conferences, and this is for PhD students who are about to graduate, and then let them look for job opportunities or any opportunities in academia, and that was also successful. It was hosted in micro for 2 times. So going back to the mentoring program, we have a lot of mentoring programs for computer architects. Well, like a few. We have, in general, mentoring is very, very beneficial for younger students or like junior students in the field to find their research directions and plan for their future careers as an architect. So one thing is that we usually only had this short-term mentoring or like one-time mentoring, which you might already seen in multiple conferences. However, this short-term mentoring maybe isn't the best for people who kind of want a more consistent mentorship. So that's why that we started this long-term mentoring program. So CASA first started this program in 2021. And right here, we're having a 2023 to 2024 academic year program of this. So this has been successfully run for a while, and then we're glad to see that we have more new faces joining and more people are getting the benefits from this program. All right, so what exactly is this program? So what COM does is that we match junior students with experienced researchers. So these can be either from senior students to postdocs to junior faculty members to senior faculty members, and also industry professionals who have working experiences in the research industry or just industry. And then this is meant for like a 1-year mentorship, although in practice, it could be slightly shorter than a year because we also have to do all the matching timelines and also do some other bookkeeping stuff. So the goal of this program is that we want to kind of improve outcomes for early career researchers. So we want to help these junior students who don't really know what they're doing, which is totally fine in their early career. And we also want to help underrepresented students or students who cannot get like enough resources for them to advance in research, or just get some other like a second opinion or extra help from people from the other institutions. The other thing is that we really want to encourage connection within the computer architecture community. And then this is a great opportunity if we just want to pair students and senior mentors together, and they can bridge the gap between things that a lot of students maybe don't know at school, and they brainstorm either industry relevant research directions or some other research directions from a refreshing point of view. And this is also helpful if students want to get some advice on the industry career path if they want to join industry after graduation. So this is a great feedback from last year's mentorship program. We had a lot of positive student feedback and mentor feedbacks. So students typically said that they received a lot of help from their mentors. The mentors helped them achieving their commitments, helped them with the PhD application, landing some research internships, which happened to one of my friends, and then picking some of the very important research questions or determining the research directions for, especially these are for the junior students who maybe just started their PhD. And last but not least, there's also a lot of firsthand knowledge about industry experiences or these research labs in industry, which people typically don't get a lot experiences to hear from if they're just in school. So on the other hand, this is definitely not a complete waste of time for the mentors, because all of the mentors are very happy to help. They felt very rewarding after this program because they're interested in kind of helping develop the young people's research, the career goals, and then their research objectives. So a lot of mentors actually said they really enjoying the process, and they're willing to join for next year. So going back to what COM is, since we already covered the majority of the slides on what COM is, we can compare COM with other programs. And here we listed these other programs because these might be useful to some of you as well. So there is a student at systems program, and the frequency is either monthly or bi-monthly. And although this is more on the systems track, this is a very similar program to what we have right now. And then we already talked about MASA and MAS, which are one-time events happening at the conference. We talked about jobs and PLMW, which is also a like a one-time conference-based mentorship opportunity, but in the PL community. And then lastly, we have COM here, which is our long-term mentoring program. And this is helping students to consistently achieve their goals, but the frequency can be depending on the preference of the mentors and mentee peers. All right, so let me cover this slide, and then I will transition to Yue. Actually, I can cover this. So what COM works here is that we would recruit mentors and mentees annually. So every match would be rematched annually. So your for those who attended for the last cycle, your mentor is not necessarily the same, because we realize that you might have other questions as you progress through your program. Maybe you might have other problems, or you have looking for other opportunities such as post-graduation opportunities. And then mentors availability also changes, and that's why we do the rematch annually. So the first phase, since you're all showing up here, we already recruited successfully a lot of students. So the mentees, we got a lot of mentees from undergrad, graduate students, and we also got a couple interested architects or engineers from the industry, which we think is really good. We really get a diverse body of the mentees. And afterwards, we will do the matching. So our matching will be done before December the 15th, because we have been finalizing the list of mentors and mentees, because we set the deadline was yesterday, although there's still like a few spots left. So if you want to sign up, you always can. The forms are still open. So tell your friends, just tell them to be quick. And then after we do the match based on the mentor and mentee's mutual interest, and that can be based on research interest or personal interest. So like non-technical, for example, job application, well, that's still kind of technical. For example, some mentors mentioned that they can help with some mental health issues, or like two-body problems. So these are kind of the examples for non-technical issues. And after we send out the matching, that you can start meeting each other. So here, the mentees would need to take the initiative for meeting. The mentees will be sending out their mentors the emails, and then figure out a good time for them to meet, and then also coordinate the following things. So we will always be here if you have any questions in the meeting process, like say if you cannot contact your mentor, if you're having some problem, if you change your preference, we're always going to be here, and just shoot us an email or a Slack message. So the program timeline, as we posted on the Sigurd blog, we have already finished the sign-up process, and then we're going to do the matching process in the first half of December. And then there was actually, the orientation was actually this orientation. So we kind of moved it a little bit forward, just to let you guys have maybe one or two more meetings with your mentors. And then the first phase and the second phase are meetings based on your frequency, based on your availability, and then the frequency of the meeting that both mentors and mentees agreed on. And there's also this midterm review, which we will send out surveys for both parts. And then we would very appreciate if you can fill out this midterm review or survey so that you can help us to make the program better for next year. So these are most of the program timeline and then most about what COM is. So I will pause here, and then if you have any questions, don't so feel free to just open up your mic and raise the question. All right, Yue, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Haiyue, for the very comprehensive overview.
Do you want to share?
Can you hear me well?
I can hear you. Do you want to share
Okay.
your screen, or do you want me to?
I think we can reuse your screen if that's convenient. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
not this share. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think Haiyue has given a very comprehensive overview of the program, and now I'm gonna transition to something that is more practical as we are going through the mentor-mentee experience. I'd like to make sure that this is fruitful for both parties. So first of all, maybe let me share with you what's the typical mentor-mentee backgrounds. So usually the mentors that we had the honor to recruit are either professors at universities or senior architects working in the industry, for example, AMD, NVIDIA, or some postdocs or senior PhD students who are willing to offer advice to junior students. And as for mentees, they are mostly PhD students or sometimes undergrad students or master students interested in pursuing a research-based degrees. Or sometimes there will be young professionals interested in becoming computer architects. So there's a diverse group of mentors and mentees, and basically we want to make sure that we can match the needs of the mentees to the expertise of the mentors. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the typical topics for conversation basically is very diverse as well. The reason we'd like to give you several bulletin points here is because we know that sometimes it is hard for the mentees to think about what are the topics to talk about at first. It can either be a little bit daunting if we talk about like two research specific topics, or if we are going to talk about like two general topics, then maybe the mentor would also offer like more general advice. So there are a couple of things that we would suggest you can bring up based on your interest. One is probably if you are in some application, you can ask for direct advice, like what are the strategies that would be useful for grad school applications or job applications. And secondly, you can also ask about the career development. The mentors have all gone through many different phases in their careers, so I'm sure they could potentially share with you some insights. And thirdly, which is talking about what are the useful approaches to research. So of course you are interested in research, so the mentors could also offer you some advices. And fourth is the insights on distinguishing attributes of academic and industrial careers as you are making choices along the different paths in your career. And last but not least, there could be other topics like work-related issues. If you are more close to your mentor, you could ask about how to do better time management. You can ask about what's the better way to do networking or manage up or maintaining a good life or work balance. Next slide, please. Thank you. So there are some more example questions that you could ask just to offer some examples. I also posted a doc in the chat box, so you can refer to these offline as well. So for example, when we collected feedbacks, I noticed that some mentees are hugely benefited from the mentors' feedback in terms of how to choose new research directions. Next slide, please. Thank you. Yeah, so one thing I think we'd also like to bring up here is there are some expectations for mentees. I think because this is a very flexible program, we would appreciate for mentees to take initiative and also be courteous when communicating with your mentors, because mentors are all very busy. So definitely please do respect the time of your mentors, and also try to follow up basically with the thank you note or with your progress via email, or maybe you can basically also show how you benefit from mentors' guidance. So this will make the mentor also very fulfilling with this mentor-mentee relationship. Another thing to remind is that please do not solicit for job offers or admissions, because this is actually out of the boundary of the mentor-mentee relationship. You definitely could ask general questions to the mentors, but don't expect anything beyond that. Next slide, please.
So just a quick note, it's fine if your mentor kind of provides your job opportunities or like internal referrals or something like that. Just don't be like, oh, I need to get into the school or something, like, can you make me in the school? But I believe most people won't do that. All right, next slide. I can talk about this actually, if you,
Okay.
or if you want to talk. I think I recently added this.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We haven't sent this form out, but I will put that on, oops, sorry. I will put that on the chat, because after we collected the mentor informations, we actually realized that some mentors can offer a lot of unique advice in the specific topics. For example, the two-body problem, the transition, like some people transitioned from industry to academia or to PhD program, or some people is facing this switching schools between PhD. So there are very specific topics that the mentors are willing to help with. And we realized that maybe some of the mentors, maybe some of the mentees might have similar questions, but there isn't like a specific place in our mentee form to fill this out. So that's why we had this additional information. This is completely optional. And then this is generally, we will pair on your technical interest or whatever you filled out in your first form first. And then unless that you indicate that there is some pressing issues that you want to talk to your mentor about in this form. So I will briefly go over this form. It's basically your first name, last name, just put like the same thing, your email. And then you have a preference for junior and senior mentors. You have a preference for a specific time zone, because we realize that a lot of people sign up from all over the world. And we're very sorry that this time probably does not work for anyone signing up from Asia. So we will host another info session for that. And then these are all of the specific topics of, most of them are all non-technical topics. For example, if there is a, like communicating issues, switching schools during the PhD, and any mental health issues, any time management, community service, and then as a person in underrepresented group, And then some mentors have some experiences with that. And also something specifically related to industry that maybe not all of the people want, like not all of the people need advice from, but like some people might greatly benefit from that. So if you have specific needs or like specific topics you want to talk about with your mentor, feel free to fill out this form. There's also a place that you can fill in your specific preferences for your mentor. It is completely confidential. So besides our, like, I think probably like me, Yui, and Abdurrahman, and maybe like other people in the CASA community, we won't make this form in public in any form. So, so feel free to put any of your specific preferences in there. I will send this form by email after the meeting. Okay, this is mostly the end of our info session. Ying, do you wanna? Actually, I'll talk about this is the last slide. So yeah, spread the word. If you still know people who want to sign up, if you have any questions, just ask in the chat or just ask directly. If you have any other questions, concerns, or if you want to help, just shoot us an email, or if you're already in the Slack, just Slack us. Oh, thank you, Abdurrahman. Cool. So I think we finished all of the slides, and it is mentor and mentee sharing their experience time. So first we will welcome Abdurrahman, who served as a mentor for the past year, and then he will briefly talk about his experiences and his expectations.
Cool. Thank you so much for the presentation. I think you guys covered it all and did a really, really good job. So yeah, so last year I was a mentor, and I was paired with the first year graduate student. And it was really nice. Again, so we gave similar instructions last year in terms of the mentee would reach out and organize, and I think they did a great job at organizing and setting up our meeting times. And I think we met every 2 weeks, and it was general mentoring. And so the student would basically come with a bunch of questions for this first couple of meetings, and we just go through them and just chat and talk, and very general, very nice conversation. Some things about, say, time management, and say how did you navigate like early PhD, later PhD, generally PhD research or paper writing, kind of like general advice from that perspective. And so it was very nice. In the first couple of months, I think we were mostly guided by like the students' questions, and went from there. And then the second half of the year, the student was like, I think you answered all my questions, so I don't have any more questions, but can we just chat in general? And so we kept the every 2-week meeting time, and we had really nice conversations about just general mutual interests and why are you interested in doing research, why computer architecture, and we just had very nice chats. So again, so this was a first year grad student at the time. I'm a postdoc, so there's a bit of experience in there that I could hopefully have shared a bit in. And so that was, I think, beneficial. I think it was very nice. And yeah, and I think now we're still on good terms together. So the program officially ended, so we don't have our every bi-weekly meeting anymore. But whenever I see the student at the conference, I mean, we both see each other and say hi and chat together, and it's nice. It's a nice exposure to meet new people as well. So it was a great experience for me. I also, of course, learned from the student. It's not a one-way street. So mentors also can learn a lot too. But it was definitely very nice, informative, helped me work better on myself, and also hopefully shared some advice and gave some feedback to the students. So yeah, so it's definitely a good experience from my end. And now I'm an organizer and I'm helping as well. And so as you guys if you're already senior and you want to help, you're always welcome to help. This is the pitch for CASA and Com. But of course, if you're still junior and you want to learn more and benefit from this opportunity, definitely you're in the right place. Yeah.
Thank you. So I see a question from the chat box. I have a friend who's interested but wasn't able to fill out the form to join CASA. So is your friend interested in joining CASA or interested in participating in the COM program? So CASA is like an organization. We have our own Slack space, and I'm sure that someone can add your friend to the Slack space if we can get. Okay, yeah, both of them sounds good. So they need to fill out the COM form. So this is for if they want to join as a mentee or a mentor, depending on which side. They need to fill out the form, and then for the form to join in CASA. Abdul Rahman, do we have news on who's handling that?
Yes. So we'll follow up. So if they already filled it out, ask them to fill it out again. But we'll follow up and hopefully add the backlog of people who've been signing up. So yes, so we're taking care of that.
Okay. Can you just directly message me their email or message Abdul Rahman? I don't think I have permission to add people to Slack, because I think the form for the Slack. Or do you think it's better if they just fill out the form to Slack again?
Yeah, fill out the form. If you aren't any issues, just message anyone on the CASA board, and we'll see why there's an issue. But it should have been resolved recently. But yeah, if there's any issues and not getting added sooner rather than later, just let us know.
Okay, great. Any more questions? We'll stop at this point for more questions.
Hello, my name is Gregor, and actually it's not a question. I just wanted to say thank you for organizing all of that, and it's really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're glad to see that you joined. If turning recording on makes people feel uncomfortable about raising questions, I can turn it off, because I think our slide presentation is open. Cool. Where's the thing that I turned pause share?